Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Johnny's guest hostess this week is Joan Rivers. This is Doc Severson along with Harvey Newsom and the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Joan and her guests, Ginger Rogers, David Brenner, and Harvey Fierstein. And now, here's Joan Rivers.
I am so excited. My neighbor, Desiree Nussbaum, who is just a Jewish-American princess, was just picked Mrs. Beverly Hills. And we just got the news backstage. Well, obviously, you don't give a damn, but I am thrilled. She won the talent contest, and her talent was whining. I broke my nail, I broke my nail. Look what happened to me. The garage won't open. Desiree is so damn spoiled. She hired Pavarotti to sing for her in the shower. Except, how many of you are seeing Beverly Hills for the first time? How many of you visited out here? Yeah. Well, it is a very strange community. Am I right? The prices are astronomical. Monday I was talking about it. I don't know if you're aware that Beverly Hills handicapped parking is for anyone that makes under $1 million a year. The Roach motels have bathrooms. They have so much money here. They buy gas by the carafe. Oh, yes. And Desiree is like a real Beverly Hills princess. Last Halloween, she gave a big costume party. She spent $1,900 for her stupid costume. I said, what are you going as? She said, a beggar. Yes. Because everything in this town is equated with money. Desiree's daughter, little Desiree Jr., hello, mother. She said, Mommy, I broke a commandment. Desiree said, don't worry, I'll buy you another. Because everything in this town, whether you know it or not, is based on money or just crazy. People come to California who are nuts. I mean, even the religions. The priest's sermon last week was this God accept master charge. You don't know. They believe not only does the soul go to heaven, but the entire sneaker. They are, yes. That was my big joke. Are you exactly. The only thing I have respect for the women of Beverly Hills is over contraception, because they are willing to do... No, they try everything. They're adventurous. Like, how many of you now are using the sponge? What about the women? Sure, you like the old stupid ones. Because California, they're all using the sponge. The sponge, by the way, is a fabulous contraceptive. A little hard to swallow, I will grant you. But it tastes a lot better than the foam. And wouldn't that be great if you're really stupid? Well, what the hell? Because people try everything. A friend of mine, instead of a coil, used a slinky. Isn't that trendy? A slinky! Now she can make love, go downstairs to stand up. Oh, the dynamite! Because I used to be coiled, but I gave up. No, we can talk here. Can we talk here? I used to be coiled, but I gave up my coil because last year lightning struck my thighs and my knees fused together. Except with my sex life, why bother to use the coil? I mean, because I'm married now 18 years, my sex life is like a piece of Swiss cheese, okay? Most of it's missing and what's there stinks. You are. We had the best show for you tonight. I am so excited. We have my dear friend, well, not my dear friend, I just met her once, but I'm gonna... But I'm very Beverly Hills tonight. We have my dear friend, Ginger Rogers. Isn't that exciting? Yes. And someone who's really a dear friend, David Brenner. One of the cleverest, brightest playwrights, authors to come along, I think, in the last 10 years, Mr. Harvey Fierstein. So please, stay tuned. After this message, we'll be right back. Nice audience. Okay.
In 1982, one of our suppliers, a small cannery, was going bankrupt. Hunt Wesson was about to lose a good supplier and a lot of money. And then I learned that the cannery's banker was a friend of mine, a guy I'd stayed in touch with over the years, mainly by telephone. I called Bob, and we arranged a deal that kept the cannery going and saved us a lot of money. All on the basis of a friendship and trust, strengthened over the years, over the telephone.
The most successful business calls are personal.
Summer is coming.
Yes, and I think somebody put something in the air conditioner.
Yeah, that's
Is this a hot audience?
Isn't that great?
Well, here we are at midweek.
Midweek, and you look very unusual today.
You like this?
Yes.
Unusual.
I want to give you $2 to put on a horse. You know what I mean? It's like...
That's how I got this, out of Santa Anita. No, actually, this suit is wonderful because it can also be used as a game board, you know?
Hey, but it's very...
Chinese checkers or whatever.
Your clothes are always very attractive.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And look at you. This is gorgeous.
This is pretty, yeah, it's nice. It's fun, you know, because you go home, you go back in the old schlep clothes, you know?
You mean you don't dress like this at home?
Of course I do. I know, especially around the kitchen. I am such a lousy... Oh, last time I made him hash purple about potatoes.
Hash purple?
I'm not a good cook.
You seem to be in a wonderful mood tonight.
Yeah, well, the dog, we got the dog yesterday.
Your dog, you got a new dog, Sparky.
Yeah, and it's cute. It really is cute. But it's going Hollywood.
Really?
Sitting there back, combing its paws, you know, it's like, I think it's gay.
Really?
Yeah. Instead of a flea collar, we got a flea tiara. Carries its bones in a shoulder bag, but I like it. You know?
That's a dead giveaway, right?
A dead giveaway.
Yes. Before we get any further with the program tonight, I want to just remind the people watching that, especially the folks in Calgary, Canada, that Joan is going to be there Saturday, June 2nd at the Jubilee, and the next day, Sunday, June 3rd, in Edmonton, also at the Jubilee. She's going to move the whole club from Calgary to Edmonton. And then June 5th through June the 19th at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas with the Smothers Brothers and Jim Stafford.
Yes. And what? In case people can't get to that, if they're around Monroe, Pennsylvania from June 7th through 10th at the Holiday House, they should see The Next Gentleman Coming Out. Or July 4th through July 10th at the Sands Hotel in Atlantic City, they will see my good friend Melissa's father. Okay? Now you know.
Can we settle for Godfather?
Oh, Godfather, what the hell? Mr. David Brenner.
Boy, did you blow it with us, huh? Now everybody knows Melissa's father.
Everybody knows. Melissa's going to commit suicide. I wouldn't have gone. I probably would have gone out with you when I was single, but I'm too fat for you, so it's...
Not now, you know.
Oh,
you
Dave.
were fat.
Oh, come on. You like them thin.
Let me tell you something. I do. I like thin women. This is true. But I was on an airplane a couple weeks ago. This is a classic. I have never seen this woman. I haven't seen anything this big that wasn't pulling a wagon. I'm serious. She had chins going up. It looked like a staircase going up to her face. The woman was... she must have been born in this seat. She was vapor locked in there. I've never seen anything like it. I walked on a plane. I couldn't believe... And they're wrapping extra they're strapping her in. They're putting straps around the plane. And a flight attendant says to me, "You're sitting next to her." I said, "Everyone on the plane is sitting next to her." You know, when it gets down, I want to tell you what it is. I don't care what doctors say. People say it's glands. You know, people say, "It's my glands." Yeah, your glands are inside. They're smothering in there. 1 in 10 million have a gland problem. A glandular. If you want to lose weight, it's a simple thing. It's stuffing your face. You put food. If you don't eat, nobody. They never opened up like a concentration camp and found a fat person. Right? Somebody laying there. I don't know. Bread and water once a day. Look at me, Blimpo City. You never. I'm sorry. You don't see this. Now I'll tell you the diet. The other thing is people think they're dieting and they're not dieting. People fake. They con themselves.
That's what I do.
Right?
What
You
I
con
do.
yourself. Here's the greatest con I've ever seen. This is, I think, one of the most popular cons. There are some people, there's not a majority of people, who when they're in a restaurant and they order food, they are convinced that this food will not be fattening regardless of what the food is, as long as when they order it, they use the word just. They say, I'll have just a cheeseburger. Let me have just some French fries. I'll eat just a cow. Give me just a cow.
First of all, you and I really should have said when we first came out, congratulations, because you won an award at Atlantic City. It's
Yeah, we both did. Isn't it nice?
Best comedian of the year.
And you were best comedian.
Isn't that nice? Yeah. That was lovely.
Yeah, I was great. If there's anyone I'd like to win it with, Joan, it's you.
Well, it was. They almost made me best comic comedian, not comedian, because they saw me naked. But I said, no. Let David. But we work so differently. Before I perform, I'm so nervous and I'm so hyper and so crazy. Yeah. And he sits in the dressing room and he relaxes. Yeah. You're never nervous when you perform. It kills me.
No. Well, it doesn't make you a better performer.
I agree with you.
There are some performers that are violently ill, physically ill, and they come out and they're brilliant. And others who are calm and they're duds. It doesn't have... I'm not nervous performing. I figure this way. If you really want to know what it is, I mean, once you get out of a neighborhood like I grew up in, there's nothing to be afraid of. You know, I walk out here on Tonight Show, there's not a lunatic, a Lamorgia brother coming down here with a pipe because he doesn't like my face today. I mean, it's like, I'll tell you when I am nervous, and you're not. I am terribly nervous going to the engagement because, you know, I have this horrible fear of flying. Now, I've been working on it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm terribly afraid. I don't act it that much. But you know, I've come to a conclusion that maybe I'm not really afraid to fly. Maybe they're psyching me out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm going to the airport, I seem to be okay, and even waiting for the plane. Now you get on a plane, they don't say to you, hey, relax, enjoy the flight, read a magazine, eat a good lunch if you brought one with you. Take a little snooze-a-rooney, look out the window. Nothing's going to go wrong. The chances are 1 in a billion, which is true. Just in case something goes wrong, we'll have plenty of time to tell you what to do. They don't do that. The minute you sit down, listen to this important announcement. Now the panic starts in me. And then they say, hey, no, just in case there's a crash landing, which is stupid because you can't have a crash landing. If you crash, you didn't land. Then, right? Dumb. Then they start in with, you know, just in case the wing comes off, and just in case we lose air, and just in case, and all these things. And I was thinking, I was sitting on the plane, we took 2 planes to get here today, and I was thinking, you know, suppose they did this with other things in life. Like, suppose they did this, like you're going in for an operation, like a vasectomy. And your doctor comes in and he says, look, just in case, this pocketbook will look great with your shoes. Just in case. Just in case. I had an interesting experience with a woman. I'll tell you one flight I was on. This was wild. I was on a flight, and it was one of these little tiny planes, you know, and we hit turbulences. It felt like we hit a wall every time, like you're banging on the wall. And we're going to an island. And I'm really scared. I'm really scared. And it wasn't that, maybe 40 passengers in the whole plane. There's a woman in front of me, bless her, this lady, she had to be a 90, 92 years old, something like that. Bless this sweet little old lady. Looked like Norman Rockwell drew her, and she just got on the plane. And she's sitting in a seat in front of me, and I overhear her, we start hitting bad turbulence, and I overhear her say, I'm not afraid, because I know, talking to herself, I'm sitting in the palm of God's hand. I figure, great, I'm in a seat behind her. I got to be on his wrist. I'm telling you. You know, I shot here. Good.
See,
But then, see, then you know, but then you start to think you know your luck, right? You're sitting in his palm, and he wakes up that morning. Well, I think... Is that a DC-10? Or what?
See, I get nervous before I get on the plane. Because my husband, Edgar, likes to get to airports early, you know, because we travel together. So we get to like an hour ahead, and I'm
the same way.
great. And I never know what to do. I walk around, and that's why I keep trying to find the pilot to smell their breath in the airport.
Oh, that's the worst. The airport, what I hate about the airports now, because they really are out of hand, are these religious fanatics.
Oh.
When you step off a plane, and they come out of the woodwork, and whenever I see them, I always say, God was on my plane, he wants to talk to you. And the guy's standing there, he's got I have the answers of life, mister, right? I have the answers of life. He's standing there, he's wearing sneakers, a pink sheet, he's got 4 hairs on his head. He has an answer? The first answer is dress better. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, there's an evangelist on television. And I don't know his name. It's a mixed-up name, like an Ansley Ernsley and Ernsley Ansley. It's one of these names, even if you turn it around, doesn't make a name. You know, it's not really a name. Now, this man is not only an evangelist and has his own religious network program. Not only is he an evangelist, he's a healer. He heals people, right? He heals people. Okay, he heals people, and he wears a toupee. I don't get it. He can fix this guy's legs. He can't put a couple of hairs on his head. Why doesn't he sleep like this, please? I don't get it.
We'll be right back after this commercial measurement. We are back. Talking with David Brenner. How long do you and I know each other back, you think?
Well, we met on a Tonight Show. And I started the Tonight Show in '71, and it was the first year I was doing it that we met, so '71.
All right, so I think we can talk then. No, because we became good friends. So it's at least 12 years, all right? Because I read something, David, because I've always respected you.
Yeah.
I always thought you were a pillar of the community, and you're Melissa's godfather and the whole thing. I read that you were naked on a beach somewhere, and I just think that's disgusting and nauseating.
They are not nauseating. What happened, I don't know where the reporter was. It was a nudist beach. It's a nudist in the Caribbean. I'm a sailor.
Yes.
I'm a sailor, all right? I'm not like one of these sailors hangs around schoolyards, you know, it's this kind of sailor. I'm a sailor. I love to swim. I don't like clothing. I never did. I went to the nudist beach. And a reporter, I don't know where, they put it in the papers. They said he's not even wearing sandals. But what was interesting is, did you ever go to a nudist colony or anything?
Never.
There are things you must...
First of all, everybody's wearing the same thing you are, so it's no fun for me.
Well, not everybody's wearing the same thing you are. But you must have certain... My biggest question, the only question I had in my mind is, I thought, well, where do you keep your change? And more importantly, who would accept it? But there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can do in a nudist colony. There's a lot you can do. You do what everybody else does. You know, you can play. They play volleyball, and you can play the horseshoes and everything. And then there are things you do in a nudist colony you can't do anywhere else. Like you can sit around and try to guess the sex of fat people.
See, that's why I wouldn't go. I have thighs. I walk into the ocean in Santa Monica. There's a tidal wave in New Jersey. Yeah, but you're very relaxed. You don't like. He and I don't know why we're friends. We like the opposite. I like to dress up. I like to go to fancy restaurants. You hates to go to fancy restaurants.
Anything. I'm into the basics. The worst ones for me. And the food's good and the people are very nice, etc., etc. I don't get letters, you know. Monsieur, blah, blah. I can't stand French restaurants. I can't stand them. They're so pretentious. I don't care if they're small. The minute you walk in, they start in with that phony business. You walk in, bonsoir, monsieur. Meanwhile, it's a Jew from Brooklyn. What is it? Please. Irving, it's me, Irving. It's me. And then I think, you know, if you're in the United States, this is an English-speaking country, basically. You go overseas. I try to learn foreign languages. I really do when I travel. It shows respect for the people. However, in the United States of America, every single menu, I believe, should be in English. I don't read French. I don't understand French. And you get intimidated. You get this fancy menu, and you start, vivons vont, avec, vivons. Or, vivons vont vont, avec, vivons vont. And then I always end up ordering, like, snail testicles, you know? And the worst. Now I'm going to tell you what bothers me, the worst part of the French restaurant. And I know this is a sin in France, or with French people, I do not drink wine. Oh, tragique, c'est tragique. I do not drink wine. I don't drink wine. I can't judge wine. I don't know what wine is good. I can tell you a good milkshake. I can. You want to tell a good milkshake? You take the straw, you put it in the middle of the milkshake. If you turn it upside down, that straw moves. That's a bad milkshake. I know milkshakes. Now, I'm sitting there. I don't know what to do when they come over and they show you the wine bottle. What do you do with the bottle? A nice bottle. That's a great bottle. And then they come back 10 minutes later, usually in the middle of a conversation, they start the same thing with that smellsy cork. Suck the table. Suck the table, man. Who wants to smell corks? I hate them.
Yeah, that's because you're a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? It's a very tough attitude.
Yeah.
This is why How is New York?
Philadelphia I'm a Philadelphian by birth.
But New Yorker by adoption.
By adoption. New York is great. There's a tremendous prejudice against New York City. I'll tell you. And there's a prejudice against everybody. Yes, of course. The whole country there's a prejudice against. And everybody has prejudice. I can't stand when people say, I'm not prejudiced. I don't care if a person's black, yellow, red, or white. You know, or purple. Now, let's be honest. If a purple family moved next door to you, here's the prejudice. I want to tell you prejudice. I saw a commercial. Well, they're lazy purple people. They smell funny, and then they don't want to work. They have big noses, they love money. You know, I could tell you all the same things for every group. All right. I saw a commercial in 2 regions of this country. I saw it in the Southwest or the Midwest, and I saw it in New York City. The same company, let's call it like Easy Door. It was a garage automatic door. That's not the name of the company, but we'll call it Easy Door. Now I saw it in the Midwest. Here's the way it went. In the Midwest, you see a woman driving home at night. It is a pouring storm out there, pouring rain. And she's driving, and the narrator says, as she pulls up to her driveway, would you want your wife to get out on a night like this? No? Then they show the woman get out, and they have a typical, you know how men portray women in commercials. She's whining. You know, she's waiting for her husband, Marvin Macho, to crash through the window. Open the door, baby. You know, there's your door. And she winds back to the car, and she's sitting there dripping, and he says, you know, get your wife Easy Door. Same woman, same kind of night. Now she's dry, presses the button.
This is New York.
No, this is in the Midwest. And the door goes flying open. That's in the Midwest. The same company, the same commercial in New York City. Now look at this prejudice. Woman is driving home at night. It is a beautiful star-filled evening. She pulls up to her driveway somewhere like in Regal Park or Queens, and the narrator says, would you want your wife to get out of the car on a night like this? And they got a guy in the bushes going, wah, 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 wah. What is that?
We'll be right back after this special business, so please. We are back. We were sitting backstage, and I was saying, how do you introduce Ginger Rogers, right? The woman is a legend, obviously, a film legend. She has made over 70 films, 10 of them with Fred Astaire. But I don't know if you're aware of this, she won the Academy Award in 1940, and that was not for a musical. That was for a wonderful, warm, stirring portrayal in Kitty Foyle. And we'd like to show you a clip right now of Ginger Rogers' Academy Award role in Kitty Foyle.
You're that little girl on the sleigh ride. Trouble is, you're no longer a little girl. You're a grown woman now. I'm only 24. You're 26. Don't try to kid me.
Well, I'm not old anyway.
No. Maybe you aren't very smart either.
I know what I'm doing.
It's a pretty unsatisfactory role you're preparing to play, even under the best of circumstances.
This is the only chance we have, and we've got to take it.
How do you imagine you will be described? As Wynn's girlfriend? That's the delicate one. And in about 10 years, when your figure gets out of control, it'll sound like a comedy line. His woman, that's getting warmer. As that woman Wynn's mixed up with.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ginger August. I'm just thrilled to have you on.
Well, thank you very much, Joan. I'm delighted to be with you. You know, we have a mutual friend.
Shirley Eater.
Shirley Eater is a very good friend of mine, and I told her I was going to be on your show tonight, and so I think she's tuned in to see that
Yeah, she said to me,
I
watch
do
your
right
mouth.
by you.
Well, she told me just be careful with Ginger. Watch your mouth. Don't ask her anything personal.
Oh,
But I'm going
love
to start out immediately by asking you.
I love it.
The Academy Award, which was 1940, did you expect it then? Or was it a big shock?
No, actually, I didn't expect it at all, because if you look at the field of people who were involved, was Katharine Hepburn in Philadelphia Story, and Rebecca with Joan Fontaine,
Oh, Joan Fontaine.
and Martha Scott in Our Town, and
Big competition.
Wait a minute, there's one more. Yes, Martha Scott. Joan Fontaine. Oh, Betty Davis. Betty Davis in The Letter. So I thought, well, I just don't have a chance in this field at all.
So your speech was not prepared?
Not at all. I didn't. As a matter of fact, I really thought I shouldn't go that night. I'd been working on Tom, Dick, and Harry so, constantly, and we were trying to get the film out. And I said to my director, I really shouldn't go because I've got to be here early in the morning. He says, is that all right? You can be an hour late. I love that. An hour late. And so Garcanon was very nice. He let me be 2 hours late coming in the next day. And the sweet part about it is, you asked me a question. What did I say in my speech? Sorry, I didn't answer that.
That's all right. I'll come back to it.
Well, I'm sure, I'm sure you will. But when...
I'm just glad to have you here and talking, because it's all terrific.
Thank you very much, Joan. It's fun to be with you, too.
Wait.
I've admired you so much.
Now I can't ask about your sex life. You realize that? See? But go ahead with your
Get
speech.
an answer out of me, kiddo. You'll be doing better than a lot of people. Anyway, the speech I made, you see, as I stood, I was at the downtown in Los Angeles at the Biltmore Hotel.
Right.
And they didn't have any television things at that. Thank God they can't replay what I said.
You just all came off the top?
No, it came off the top of my head, and I said, well, thank you. I thanked my mother. I thanked my press agent. I thanked my grandfather and the man on the door, the makeup people. I thanked everybody, and the kitchen stove.
Yeah,
preparing a dinner for me.
But your mother was tremendously influential, wasn't she, in your career?
Well, I should say, if it had been for her, I couldn't have had a career, not at all, because I started out as 14, and they didn't let children work on the stage at 14, unless you had a guardian's present and you went to school and all that sort of thing. So she was my guardian. She gave up a job as a newspaper woman, and I thought it was a very unselfish act on her part to do that. She was a very successful newspaper woman in Fort Worth, and Fort Worth, Texas, that is. And as if you didn't know, hooray, we got some Texans out there. Well, she was on the newspaper, the Fort Worth Record, and she was doing extremely well. And when I won this contest.
What kind of contest?
A Charleston contest.
Oh.
And when I won the local contest, it didn't occur to us that might possibly, when they put them all together in Dallas, which is the opposing city, Fort Worth and Dallas, you know, they sort of hate each other. And not really, but there's always that jealousy that Dallas and Fort Worth. Anyway, it came that there were 2 people left in the contest, and the decision had to be made by the audience as to who was the winner. And here I was in enemy territory. I was in Dallas. And and so when it came to the 2, one was a young man and the young lady, I was the young lady. And so the 2 of us stood up, and the audience had to applaud for the boy and the girl. The man said, can't tell apart, you have to do it over. So we danced it over. Each of us took our turn at dancing it over, and he did put his hand over our heads again. And voila, I won. That was I was the state Charleston champion.
And then from there, that brought you to Hollywood?
Well, that didn't bring me directly to Hollywood. It put me on the stage, and I learned how to stand on the stage and talk and be a comedian and sing songs as well as dance. So I did all of those things, and I sort of got a patina before my mother would let me go to New York. She said, you cannot go to this big city of New York. You cannot do that until you know your craft.
And she was right.
And
how
she
old were
was
you
right.
when you went?
Well, I was 16.
You learned fast. From 14
I think at 14 and 16 you learn very rapidly. But
if you want to learn, you learn.
17 was a dangerous age. Yeah, that was the tough one.
That's what I want to talk to you about after this commercial.
Oh, you do?
Yes. If we met, that was when you first got married.
Are we going to take it year by year?
No, not year by year.
That's going to be a difficult thing.
No. Well, we'll just talk about highlights.
All right.
We'll be right back after this commercial message you've been through. Aren't they great? Good. Yes.
Just marvelous.
Do you ever get the urge when you hear music just to say, I want to just get up and dance
Get
again?
up and dance. I love it. Yes. It's hard to find.
No, I won't ask you. I won't ask you. But what about when you're at a ball somewhere and a gentleman, do they expect too much of you? Do they get too tricky when they ask you to dance?
They do that to you. You see somebody will come up and tap someone on the shoulder with whom I'm dancing and say, can I have this dance? And my dancing partner, whoever that happens to be, will say, well, yes, I guess so. And so suddenly I'm in the arms of someone who's had a few too many. Oh, that is terrible. And it's particularly terrible on your shoes. You spend quite a lot of money for shoes. And then when you get home, you see it's all black. And the shoes are blue, light blue, and you've got blue and black shoes. It's terrible. And your dress is not black. Okay.
Now, we were going back to your mother, and because you were very, very close to your mother. You said at 17 something happened. You got married, right? And she was furious.
Well, my mother and I had always gotten along quite well. We had very few misunderstandings. And when I informed her that I was going to get married to a Texas boy, she suggested I not do it at first. And then I said, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And she said, well, if you do, and I'll tell you, I'm going to leave you. I'm going back to Fort Worth and going back to my job. And I never want to see you again. You're making a terrible mistake. And she was right. She was right.
Mothers usually are. You hear that, Melissa? Now, just like to drop these things. You were married a lot, which is... No, in those days, they didn't have
one
affairs.
of those Johnny looks,
But you were married 5 times. And well, you should be. You're a fabulous-looking woman. But you were married a lot.
That gives me an excuse, you see.
Yeah, well, a pig wouldn't be asked 5 times. Yeah. You
Not
get
even
Miss
Miss Piggy?
And you were married, which I thought was interesting, to a man 16 years younger than you at one point. Nowadays, that's very, very chic. Everybody's doing it nowadays. Mary Tyler Moore, they're all marrying.
Maybe I started it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, was that considered chic in those days, or was everyone
I don't think it's
snickery?
ever considered chic. I don't think that the Mr. and Mrs. Q public agree that that's a very good mating situation at all. I think they dislike it intensely, except if it's an older man marrying a younger woman, they don't mind that so much.
Which gets me crazy. I think an older man with a younger woman is disgusting. I think an older woman with a younger man is elegant and fabulous and absolutely. I love you. But now with you, though, you're single now.
Yes, I'm single.
Yeah, and
very happy.
Are you ever sorry that you didn't have you never had children?
Never.
Are you a little sorry about that now?
Well, I have been upon occasion sorry that I didn't have youngsters, but you know, the Bible says a very interesting thing. It says those who are barren have more children than those who give birth, which means that, to me at least, that those who have had no children always collect some wonderful way. There's a sort of a magnetism of youngsters that come to you, ask you for advice, and they want a little mother love and little friendship from you, and I've been so happy because it's given me a chance to love these young people who need it, and I need it too.
Yeah, but such a warmth comes out of you, which is so nice, you know, which I didn't expect. I thought you'd be a little more
You thought
brittle.
I'd be terribly cold.
Yes, yes, I thought you'd be very...
Well, I left my British accent at home today.
I just thought you'd be a little more movie star, you know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
I mean,
well, I never have done that, you see.
what about in the 30s out here? Was it hard to adjust?
Adjust to what?
Oh, I know, they're all movie stars. Well, adjust to being a star at that young age. Adjust to all the fame that came to you so quickly.
I had worked so hard, whatever it was. I was just glad that I was there and I had done something, you see, because I have worked really very, very strenuously along the years.
You know what's always
4 and
followed
5
you?
pictures a year.
Is,
You're not listening.
I am listening. I'm hearing 4 or 5 pictures a year. I was getting ready to give you a big compliment. I was getting ready to say, what's followed you all your life is always you've had a reputation for being such a lady. Nice
hope I
and
still
warm
have
and
that
liked by the
reputation.
crew, and it certainly came across tonight. I'm so pleased that you were here. Just,
Boy,
will you
thank
come
you.
back?
Oh, my heavens, thank you.
Oh,
I will.
Please. You see, Shirley, it worked out.
Shirley, you were right. She was darling.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I love you. You too. Thank you. We'll be right back at this commercial message. So please, stay. We are back. Talking with David Brenner, Ginger Rogers, and my next guest is now starring in a play that he wrote. It's brilliant. To say starring and acting is obviously the same thing. He is performing in a play that he wrote himself, Torch Song Trilogy, which will be closing here on June 2nd, and then he will go immediately to New York, and he won 2 Tonys for Torch Song Trilogy. He will go to New York for June 3rd for the Tonys where he is not in, but he wrote La Cage aux Folles, which is up for 9 Tonys. So exactly, will you please help me welcome Mr. Harvey Fierstein.
I bought this special for you today. It's my GQ outfit.
It's very chic.
Goyish Queen.
It's very California.
It is. I don't know. I wanted to look like I had gone Hollywood.
Yeah, well, you look a little Hollywood.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Is this Hollywood enough? They said it's supposed to be wrinkled.
Yeah, it's supposed to be wrinkled.
Supposed to be wrinkled.
And the sleeves are pushed up, which is
And
great.
pushed up.
Yeah.
And then they had a paint over here.
Yeah.
Over the stretch marks, they had a paint. Because the sleeves-
But you're not Hollywood. You're a New Yorker. Don't you find it hard living out here?
I find it hard living anywhere. This is very frightening to me, to wake up every morning and the sun is shining.
Yes.
It's very frightening. I called home yesterday. They said it was raining, and I started crying. I said, please let it rain here a little bit. And I think it fries the brains out here a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think so, too.
And then they get these convertibles, and they put down the tops of the convertibles so they can get more sun. And then when they have a day off, they run to the beach. I mean,
But
very
you can't run anyway, though, because you don't drive. Do you find yourself
No.
a prisoner now?
yeah, I have a hotel room. I have a driver who's very nice. He calls me up and he says, time to come out yet? I say, almost. As soon as the sun comes down.
I'm coming out. Why can't you drive?
I'm dyslexic.
That means...
I do things backwards. I'll step on the brake when I mean to step on the gas. I can't tell my left from my right.
Then you fit right in out here.
Yes.
How do you know you're dyslexic? How did you find out you're dyslexic?
When I started typing, I guess, and I typed a whole page in in one of those classes in high school when you learn to type. I typed a whole page, looked at it, and realized it was all backwards. And then I said, ooh, something's wrong here.
Oh, what about now when you write?
It's just like the rest of my life. What can I tell
What
you?
about when you write?
When I write?
If you typewrite, is that...
Thank God I have a lover that types 100 words a minute.
Oh, thank God.
So I type it out badly, and then he fixes it.
You know what I love about you is because you're so open about your homosexuality.
I think a woman just realized I was gay. She just realized I was gay.
But
These shoes didn't tell you. The socks told her I was Jewish, but the shoes told her I was gay.
now, but you're so, what do you go? You're relaxed. You're so relaxed about being a homosexual, which is wonderful. How was it in high school?
I went, as a matter of fact, to an all-gay high school.
All gay. Who was homecoming
It's
queen?
New York. It was New York. Who was
homecoming queen?
Nobody went. Nobody went to the prom. No one went to the prom.
It was an all-gay high school?
Yeah, it was called Art and Design.
Yeah,
On 57th Street and 2nd Avenue.
There were no...
Well, there were a couple of heterosexuals, but, they were busing them in.
So, were there roughness around you? Like leather gangs that come up or and annoy you kids, or
Leather gangs come up and cruise. What are you talking? No, there was one particular gentleman there named Pablo who taught me a lot. The first rule was, if they tell you that they love you and they say, come live with me, you tell them, take me shopping. That was the first rule. The second one was never New Jersey. Because you were late for class. By the time you got back.
Was Pablo the one you told me had the doll? You told
Pablo
me
had a porcelain doll. And
he brought it to school.
And would breastfeed it in class. Pablo.
Whatever happened to Pablo?
I think he's married with children in Passaic.
Surprise. Let me ask you, because it's so wonderful to be able to sit here and talk with you and laugh. When you came to your family and said, I'm gay, that must have been a shock. I mean, you come from a normal family, middle class.
Gays are normal people.
No, I'm talking about, no, you know what I'm saying. Of all people, you look at
No, I didn't have to tell them. They knew.
How? From the beginning? When did you know?
When did I? About 5.
You knew?
I had a crush on a camp counselor.
And were you upset by it, or?
I was only no.
Yeah.
No.
But nothing upsets you. You have a good life.
No, yeah, I have a wonderful life.
You're going to be 30, and someone said you can't wait to be 35.
Yeah. No, I'm going to turn 30 next week. It's very embarrassing.
Why? You look great.
Because I've looked 40 since I'm 12.
Look at the success you've had.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You never suffered, Harvey. Have you ever suffered in your art?
No, the only time I ever suffer is when I go shopping for clothes.
Because you wrote the play, and it was a success right away. You're so wonderful. Anyone that's not seen him in Torture on Trilogy should run, not walk, quickly, because you're closed Saturday, right? And you better win at least 7 out of the 9 Tonys.
Right.
A pleasure having you. We'll be right back after this message of interest, so please stay tuned. What a fabulous show tonight. I cannot tell you. Oh, thank you, Doc. David Brenner, Holiday House, July 4th. June 7th, July 4th, Sands Hotel, right? And Harvey, Torture on Trilogy is still running in New York. Tomorrow night, Diane Carroll, Sally Kellerman, and Terry Moore. So please come back and watch us then. Thank you, Ginger Rogers, for being here.
Joan Rivers' wardrobe furnished by Holly's Harp.
Next on Late Night with David Letterman, it's International Day.